Ah, nostalgia. You are one funny thing. Perceiving games that we used to play as perfect in every way, while some still may be, others may not have aged quite as well as our brains would like to think. Games on the PS1 used to use blocky polygons rather than the pixels we know and love today, and our brains still see these in super high res. Hi, I'm Pretty Poor Gamer, and today I'm going to do a top 10, yes that is top 10 list on nostalgic games of my past. It is a list, but as always it is in no specific order. At number 10, it's Kingdom Hearts. This game released back in November of 2002, and I will never forget seeing the trailer for it in the cinema. I eagerly sat down and waiting for Harry Potter, watching the adverts, and suddenly the music came on. The Disney logo showed and the Squaresoft logo came up. I saw Final Fantasy characters, Disney worlds, Keyblades. I don't know what I was seeing, but as a child at 9 at the time, I was hooked from there on out with the Kingdom Hearts series, and this has stayed ever since. Since then, the game has released in HD, so my mind, which sees this all in high res, can actually play this in high res in beautiful HD. My childlike nostalgia can just blossom and just have a braingasm of colors and sounds and fun. It is definitely a great game and it's definitely deserving of the number 10 spot. At number 9, it's Bugs N Taz Time Busters. This came out when I was 7 years old for the PlayStation 1, and my god was it a good game for the time. I played Spyro, but this one had just absolutely eclipsed my expectations of what to expect from a 3D platformer on the PlayStation 1. It was better than all of the games I had played, and it had challenging levels, brilliant designs, fun characters, so much colour to it. I must have sunk hours into the game without even finishing it. My young self was just happy to play constantly without progressing. It's a shame that THQ fell off the map after that. You know, they started making worse and worse games, but I will always remember Bugs N Taz Time Busters with childlike nostalgia, which is the whole point of this. At number 8, it's Final Fantasy VIII. This game holds a special place in my heart. I have completed it easily 10 times now. I know every secret, how to fight every boss, play the cards, and get all the summons. It was my first Final Fantasy, and I remember seeing it at my friend's house after school, and he was stuck trying to find a loan in the southern continent. I asked if I could try. I did, and found her. I asked to borrow the game and completed Disc 1 within a week. I decided that was the point that I wanted this game for my own. It was my first foray into the Final Fantasy series, and I got it for my birthday and loved every second of it. Yes, looking back at it now, it may be blocky and jaggy, and yes, the story might not make too much sense, but it was still an amazing adventure for the time. And even now, playing it as a 23-year-old, I still love it and I still love the story. It might just be nostalgia talking, but it is a fantastic game to play. Speaking of fantastic adventures, at number 7 is Sonic Adventures for the Dreamcast. This is one of my all-time favourite games. During the summer holidays when my parents had to work, I was sent to an after-school club in Aberdeen, and they had a Dreamcast set up, and on this said Dreamcast was Sonic Adventures. I was only 8 at the time of playing it, and I spent most of my time in the Chow Garden, I'm not gonna lie, evolving my Chows, making them fly and swim and then racing them, but it was so much fun to play. And 5 years ago I actually bought it on the PlayStation 3, and it's one of the few games that I still play, it plays like I remember. The nostalgia really hits in when I hear the Welcome to Station Square song. Absolute goosebumps. At number 6, it's a slightly unorthodox game which I doubt many of you watching will have played and probably think this is a really stupid one, but remember, nostalgia has funny ways of getting into a brain. The game is called the Flintstones Bedrock Bowling, and no, it's not a bowling game, it's actually a kart racer game of a sort. It was released in the year 2000, and I got it the same year. It is a fairly short game with uninspiring level designs and a limited character roster, and constant sound bites that actually start grating the ear. But as a child playing it with your friends, it was one of the best games around. There's not much to say about it other than clearly the nostalgia's got too much of a grip on me. I mean, you can see the clips here is insanely stupid, and there's so much better kart racers out there for the time. But it is a game that I remember fondly. At number 5, this list wasn't going to be complete without BanjoKazooie. This game released on the Nintendo 64 and is a personal favorite. It is exactly what a 3D platform should be like. Fun, accessible, the right amount of difficulty, and awesome power-ups. Rare constantly outdid themselves during the Nintendo 64 generation and were regarded as untouchable. Everything they touched turned to gold. As a kid, I couldn't do the stupid underwater level with the giant mechanical fish thing. But as a fully functioning adult, I completed it. And again, it's one of those games that actually holds up pretty well for its age and is still easily playable. I actually never played Banjo-Tooie, but BanjoKazooie still holds that place in my heart. Falling in at number 4 is my favorite game of all time. It is generally my favorite game of all time as well. I did a Let's Play on it. It was my very first Let's Play of this channel. It's Mystical Ninja for the Nintendo 64. It is quirky, it is Japanese, and it was made by Konami of all people. We all know Konami now have fallen far from grace, but back then they were the kings of developers with games such as Contra as well. But Mystical Ninja is a bright gem, full of mistranslations, quirky characters, fun gameplay, and actually used the expansion packs. It was so big. Man, I love playing it. There's cameos for Super Saiyan as well, and it's got such a lovely Japanese feel. Definitely one of my favorite games, and I don't care if you all hate it. The nostalgia is strong with this one, and I will always love it. At number 3, it's the newest game on the list, and again, it's a Final Fantasy game. This time, it's Final Fantasy X. It was released in 2002, and I was the grand old age of 10. But I didn't actually see the game until I was 11, and I was at my friend's house getting ready to leave for school. I remember seeing him booting up the game, which he got that morning, and I watched the intros roll by, and then he'd fight the Sin Spawn. I then saw the front cover of Tidus and his Brotherhood sword, and I bragged as a kid saying I knew how to get the sword when I'd never seen the game before. Of course I was caught out by my friend's dad, and he asked how, and I lied and said you just got it during the game. When I did get to play it as a kid, when I got it for Christmas, it turned out I was really good at lying, for that is indeed how you got the Brotherhood sword. I never realized there was a correlation between Final Fantasy X and 8 when I first saw it, but that was kind of the start of my Final Fantasy train collection, and from there I got 7, I got 9, and I got 12, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. This game also got an HD remake, and it is insanely good. It is slick, it still plays fantastic, has a great battle system, and Blitzball is still one of my favorite mini games of all time. At number 2, it's Pokemon Red. This is a game I remember so clearly and so fondly. As a child, at 6 years old, I went on a holiday to Alaska from Aberdeen, which was a long flight. And in the first week I was there, my cousin gave me this Game Boy and this game, and he said, this is the game you want to play. This is the most fun game you'll ever play, and it was Pokemon Red. And I remember being in the spare bedroom, playing away at it for hours. I was guided by my cousin, but these were my Pokemon, this was my adventure, and I was going to be a Pokemon master. I love the game now as I did back then. It was also one of the first games I remember glitches and secrets being spread around the playground at school. And this happened at every school. You ask any kid from any school and they will tell you that these rumors spread, and these rumors turned out to be true. The glitches and secrets about the missing number and the rare candy glitch, it was just mind-boggling how no internet at the time, and yet everyone knew this secret. And that just made the game more fun because everyone was involved in it. Finally, at the number 1 spot is Ocarina of Time. There's not much I can say about this game that hasn't already been said before. It is a masterpiece. Again, my first exposure to this was at a friend's house, and he was fighting the giant spider in the Deku tree. I wanted the game so bad from there on out, but I never actually completed it as a kid. I was just taken in by the towns, the puzzles, the musics, the atmosphere, and maybe I was just a bit too young to follow the story and a bit too stupid to work out the puzzles, but I loved it nonetheless. I could tell it was a masterpiece from start to finish. Most recently, I bought the 3DS remake on the 3DS, and I completed it at the age of 21, so that was about 2 years ago now. Like I said, there's not much I can say about this game. It's just a fantastic game to play and still want to remember fondly. I can remember the intro with Link on Epona and the music playing, and it's actually my alarm in the morning to get up. Anyway, that's the list. I have been Pretty Poor Gamer. Please like and subscribe for more videos. If there are any other games that make you feel nostalgic inside, please let me know in the comments. Hopefully I can get nostalgic with you guys too. See you next time, guys.